Hey, what's up, guys? It's Purpose Driven Life Sports. I'm back here for another video. Now, this is my free agency preview before free agency starts video, which free agency actually starts in 6 days. It's either 5 or 6 days, which you can start negotiating for a new contract at 6 p.m. July 1st, and then July 2nd is when moratorium begins, which is where you can actually... It's not like the contract's not finalized, but this is like a verbal agreement. So you have 3 days for a verbal agreement, and then after those 3 days, the contract is official, unless you go back on your verbal agreement, which would be kind of disgusting. But that's not the point. Kevin Durant, where he goes, is going to be huge. Kyrie, we already know that, to me, he's going to leave Boston. I've come to that conclusion. I hope everybody else does. What's big is that for Boston, now Al Horford's going to want to leave. Because last time I checked, they were going to do a 3-year, maybe like $60 million deal where he resigns for less money, but he still is like one of the staples of their organization. But now he's leaving because apparently, I don't know what happened. I just read that one day that he wants out. Now, here's why I'm not worried about Boston. You have a lot of young talent. You had 3 picks in the draft. You could have easily traded those picks for more players, but they didn't, which is, I think, smart, because as great as it is acquiring players that are established, if you can develop younger players like Boston, to me, has been known for doing, especially with Marcus Smart, Rajon Rondo. They're doing really good with Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown especially. They still have Gordon Hayward, who to me probably this season is going to really determine if he's really back from that gruesome injury that he had. They're a team that probably should develop with their picks that they got. They got Grant Williams, they got Romeo Langford, and I think they got somebody else. I don't have him on. He's on the tip of my tongue, but I forgot who it was. But drafting young players is so great because it's developed. You got to develop. You got to be able to coach. You got to be able to maneuver and put players in different spots. But for Kevin Durant, now let's go to Kevin Durant in this situation. To me, I'm hearing a lot of things that he's going to leave. Either the New York Knicks are going to be his destination or the Brooklyn Nets. I haven't heard too much anymore really about the Clippers for some reason, but I'm not going to rule them out either. I think the reason why he would leave Golden State is because maybe the injury is kind of, played a big part in that, just because it's been misleading, even though I heard that his doctors also cleared him to play. So to me, it's not just the Warriors, even though they do have a stake in why they'd want him to play. But it's not like the doctors for the Warriors were the only ones to clear him. I heard his surgeon was the one to clear him as well. And outside sources, even his family, his friends wanted him to play, even though the team overwhelmingly wanted him to play. So, but he probably wants a freshman to start as well. I mean, all the hate that he's received just from going to Golden State. But remember this, he can get the most money from Golden State. So what I've heard in that, which makes sense to me, is that he would do a sign-in trade where Golden State signs him to the 5-year, $221 million max deal that he earned, and then they trade him wherever he wants to go, which to me is viable, because if I'm Golden State, if he wants to leave, here's what I'm going to do. I got to get something back, because if he leaves for nothing, then guess what? You're still in a situation where you don't have any cap room. So if you're able to get something out of it, like younger players or, players that you can develop, which Steve Kerr to me is a really good to coach in developing players, then that to me, that's a win-win, because not only do you lose Kevin Durant, but you win because you get players back, and then you win because he gets to go where he wants to go. He's helped you win championships. He did what he wanted to do, which is win. You can't fault him for that. So to me, that it works for both sides on that. Is it the Nets? I think the Nets are a big player. I don't know if the Knicks are as big of a player, but if they got him and Kyrie to go with RJ Barrett, that's going to be a really good team. Even if Kevin Durant doesn't play next year, they're going to be a team that develops. Kyrie probably going to be that doesn't play too much, probably plays 60 games. Because if I'm Kyrie, as good as I am, I don't want to put a lot of mileage on my body until I know that Kevin Durant, and even though RJ is developing, you kind of got to pick your spots and play in. So that's going to be huge for the Knicks. But I'm thinking the Knicks aren't going to get anyone this year. I don't even know if I haven't heard a lot of noise about players wanting to go there. In this day and age, what you want to do is you want to go play on a good team where you get, at least another star to play with you so you can compete. That's really what the motto is. LeBron did help change that, but Kevin Durant really kind of signified that that's how you win a championship now. And the Knicks have just been so bad that, to me, the Knicks aren't even attractive. But what the Knicks can do is just get, probably get a lot of veterans on one-year deals, probably develop R.J. Barrett. And then just, Knicks have to be smart and just make sure that they stay out of cap trouble. You don't want to sign guys for multiple-year deals. I think the max you want to do is a 2-year deals, or maybe a 1-and-1, which is like a 1-year deal you play on and then you have an option, because you don't want to lock down future assets or future money in case you become attractive again. Because if Reggie Barrett becomes good, that's how you attract free agents. You don't attract free agents just because you have the most money per se. You attract because you're a team that has a young star, or young stars, because we can't forget about Kevin Knox. I think he's still gonna be very good. If those two are together playing well, you're going to attract something. Don't lock down your future yet. You have to make sure that you have money still. So it's gonna be important for the Knicks to do that. Kawhi Leonard now. Let's move on to Kawhi Leonard. Now, to me, Toronto is still a huge player. If he stays in Toronto, to me, they win another championship. As great as the LA Lakers are with Anthony Davis and LeBron James, they still have to build that team out. I was really huge. I thought they would win the championship next year. And so I got to thinking, they haven't even built the team out yet. You really trade away a lot of good players to get Anthony Davis. So that's your bench. You got to be able to build out the team. So, sorry, but if Kawhi Leonard, wherever Kawhi Leonard goes, really, to me, even if it's the Clippers, to me, the Clippers win if Kawhi Leonard goes there, because you saw what they did to a Golden State team. If he stays in Toronto, Toronto wins the championship again next year. Kawhi Leonard, to me, I don't know why I say this, but to me, he just showed me so much this year in the finals, especially that he's that good on both ends of the floor, especially offensively. His game offensively has just risen to another level. He can go off the dribble, he can shoot, catch, and shoot. He just does everything. He plays defense, he rebounds. He's becoming a great passer. He's the best player in the NBA right now. LeBron James second, then it's kind of a mix, but you know what it is. Now, another team I want to move on this is going to be really important is the Milwaukee Bucks, because the Milwaukee Bucks have a lot of free agents that are really key. You got Chris Middleton, you have Malcolm Brogdon, you got Nikola Mirotic, Brook Lopez. Giannis said he wants to bring everybody back. They're going to have to go into the luxury tax to do it, and I think Milwaukee said that they're willing to do it, but If I'm the players on those Bucks teams, what do you really want to do? Do you want to stay strapped to that team for multiple years? I think if I was playing in this day and age, I would probably only do a 2-year deal, max, without an option. If I was going to do it with an option, I'd do a 1-and-1. But if I'm going to play for a team for multiple years, the longest I'm going to do is 2 years, because you don't know how long you have in the game. So as much money as you want to max out on, you kind of want to leave your future open. So if I'm a Chris Middleton, if I'm a Nikola Mirotic, if I'm a Brook Lopez, since I'm on the up and up, which means I'm getting 29 and older, you kind of want to make sure that you only sign a 1-year or 2-year deal. And my thinking is, like I said, you don't know how long you got in this game. Now, do you want to max on your money? Of course you do. But guess what? 31 is still not that old. You still got a few more good years if you're a great player in your prime. Or you could sign a 1-and-1 where you end up, or you're 30, and then you could sign another 4 or 5-year deal, or even a 3-year deal. So it's that thinking that Milwaukee's kind of a mess to me, because you want to bring everybody back, but you don't want. It's like I said in my last video. Great teams kind of hit a wall, because guess what? You're so great that you have all these players, but guess what? Sometimes you got a lot of players on 1-year deals, or guys at the end of their contracts, which is why it sucks sometimes to be a great team, because guess what? You're really on the cusp of doing something great, like Golden State. They're a great team that could have won the championship if they were healthy this year, but guess what? They're not healthy. They got Kevin Durant and Clay on 1-year deals, right? So now you're in this mess. this is kind of what I'm seeing from Milwaukee, even though nobody's injured, is that these guys can potentially go get money elsewhere if they don't want to stay. So Milwaukee's also in a mess. Oh, and another free agent. There's so many free agents, guys. I already talked about Kyrie. I said KD. I talked about Kawhi. I talked about the free agency situation in Milwaukee. You got Jimmy Butler and Tobias Harris in Philadelphia. You also got JJ Redick. He's a huge part of what they do. They keep all three of those guys in Philadelphia. You have nothing. You really don't have any other options to really build out a good bench. This is what I'm talking about, guys. It's like, this is why the NBA is so fun to play, especially in NBA 2K, but also when you watch it in real life, is that all the financial transactions have to go down to build a good team and maintain a good team. Is that you got to pay money. And what the NBA does that makes it so competitive is that there's a cap. You can go over the cap, but guess what? You got to pay the luxury tax, and you can't afford all these other stars, right? So Philadelphia's going to make a tough decision. If I'm Philadelphia, I can live with just having Jimmy Butler, because guess what? Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid are still developing, and to me, a leadership guy like Jimmy Butler, that's great. And even though you're going to have a little bit of money issues, guess what? You still have money to open up. You could still keep JJ Redick as well if he wants to take a pay cut. If I'm me, I find a way to make sure JJ Redick takes a pay cut to keep him here for multiple years, because as he gets older, to me, he seems to be getting better because he's not athletic. He's a shooter. To me, shooters age the best in any sport across all sports entertainment, because guess what? Shooters, even if they use their legs, they're still not trying to dunk. They're not trying to do all that athletic stuff. They're just shooting the ball. And that's just what it is. So if I'm JJ Redick and I'm the Philadelphia 76ers, if I'm Philadelphia, I make him take a pay cut, because they need him. Even as much as they need Jimmy Butler. But I also did hear Jimmy Butler might be looking at the Rockets. The Rockets have to do a lot of maneuvering to get him onto that team, because you got all this money secured to at least 5 players on that team. So, which, then if the Rockets do that, guess what? Then you're cap strapped on the... See, guys, I can go around in a circle all day. This is kind of getting ridiculous. To be a good team, you got to commit all these financial contracts, guys. You gotta hope to stay healthy. You gotta kind of be good, to me, in a 2 to 3 year window like Golden State was. They had a 2 to 3 year window where they were the best team. The first year, the second year, the third year, and even the fourth year where they did win a championship, because the second year in that 5 year window they lost to Cleveland. But even in that third and fourth year, this third year they were excellent. The fourth year they were shaky. The league was starting to really catch up. This year, in the fifth year, the league caught up, because the league copied exactly what they're doing. They're getting a lot of shooters around good young players, and the league is now a shooting league because of who? Steph Curry. Steph Curry's a great player because he's changed this league, but there's one thing you can't change. It's how you build a good team. And free agency is going to be huge, because how you build your team is how you're going to be looking into the future. Do you secure a lot of money to great players, but then you limit your future assets? Like a Brooklyn Nets, because if they sign KD and Kyrie, who have enough money to do, and even though they have a bench built out, that team is really secure. But I think for the next 2 years, because everybody on the team is young and on either rookie deals or something like that, then you got to pay those players, and then your bench starts to get thin. And who am I thinking of? Golden State, because their bench has gotten thin. So this is the fun part, and this is why I like the NBA, because the NBA really is really good at making you think. The NFL, to me, as great as it is like, it doesn't kind of make you think like that. The NBA is so complex, and it's such a great players league. It's a players and owners league. It's half and half to me. But the way this financial stuff is, how to build a team, it makes you think about that. So that's the cool thing. But I think that's going to do it for this video, guys. This is my preview for free agency. I'm going to be doing this all week. I'm going to be doing this throughout the free agency. This is going to, I'm really excited about this, because to me, with Kevin Durant as it was, his injury shifted the whole balance. That, to me, right now, the person with the most power is Kawhi Leonard, because to me, wherever he really goes, he's probably going to win a championship for that team next year. It could be for the Clippers, could be for the Toronto Raptors. You really don't know. He can even go to a New York team. Doesn't matter. But this is really important. So I'm enjoying this right now. This period, it makes me think. I like to think about this stuff. This stuff is really fun to think about. All the scenarios, all the situations. So, for this purpose of live sports, I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Now I'll see you guys in my next video.